What's up, weebs? Welcome back to the channel, actually, because we're gonna do some post commentary because I have been kind of sitting on this topic for a while. It's been in my head for a minute now, but I'm kind of barely getting it into words. So I guess we'll jump into it now. This you're just gonna have some fighters gameplay in the back to enjoy. But a thing I've noticed a lot that is kind of a weird trend for newer gen and even some older gen shonen mangas and animes is to like completely shit on its predecessors. So like Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero, they all try to shit on Naruto, Bleach, One Piece. They try to shit on any shonens before them. They try to always compare and contrast instead of just, you know, enjoying like they should. But another big one that everybody shits on, I don't know why I see it a lot, but people like to shit on Dragon Ball probably the most. And I never knew why until I kind of looked at it further and kind of came to my own conclusion. I don't assume it's many other people's conclusions, but it's this weird era or time that Dragon Ball was born in or even pioneered, and it's kind of the problem it has with its time instead of with its actual content. So as for most of us, Dragon Ball is a very nostalgic factor. It's something that introduced us to anime. It's something that was there in our childhoods. It's something we had early on. But a thing that I see the problem with the most is when people compare it, they talk about plot and they talk about characters, you know. And character wise, it's kind of, you know, hit or miss. It depends on what you enjoy, it depends on what you like. But plot wise, at this point I'm kind of seeing where they're coming from, because when you delve into the Dragon Ball plot, there's not really one. And I just think it has to do with the time Dragon Ball was born in, because it was the grandfather, technically. Like, it came before shonen manga. It was kind of made popular and pioneered shonen manga, the archetype, entirely, because before it, one of the most popular things before it was like Astro Boy and Fist of the North Star. And you'll notice it's kind of the same thing with Fist of the North Star, not entirely, but it has the same pace where there's no real end goal for Goku. Goku starts as, you know, this kid that was found by his grandpa, and he just goes on this adventure, and there's no real end goal to the adventure. There's a lot of side parts that happen in the adventure, but there's no real end goal. It's called Dragon Ball because obviously the Dragon Balls are in it, but the end goal is not to get the Dragon Balls. In fact, they get the Dragon Balls multiple times, so it's not really the end goal. It's not they get the Dragon Balls and the story's over. It's really just following the adventure of Goku. And it kind of branches out too into Dragon Ball Z. They try to do some plot in Dragon Ball GT, but it kind of hit or miss. And it even carries off into Super, and you see it a lot in Super. But it's a lot of the plot happens by circumstance. So it's just Goku going on this adventure, and then he runs into the Red Ribbon Army. He runs into Roshi. Then he trains. Then Roshi tells him, "Hey, you're gonna join the tournament." Goku just goes, "Okay." Or, you know, Goku's just having a day, and then Raditz shows up. Or you know, they beat Vegeta and Nappa. Then they hear about Namek, and there's strong people on Namek, or Vegeta's going to Namek, and now they want to go to Namek. There's no pure end goal because of ideas spreading around Toriyama's head. And he didn't want to, I want to say he didn't want to like lock it down to one thing, because it kind of muddles with the story a little bit. Like, you'll see in Dragon Ball, it technically grandfathered, as it grandfathered shonen, it also grandfathered the big three: Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. And those are, you know, some of the most popular manga of all time. They're not called the big three for no reason. But you'll notice in all of them, they have an end goal. Luffy wants to become the Pirate King. Naruto wants to become Hokage. Ichigo, never mind. Ichigo is kind of another one, but he has circumstance like that. But I have no real argument for that. He kind of falls into the Dragon Ball line like that, and I think that's another reason why Bleach is also hated, which we can get into in another time or maybe even later. But you'll notice in two of those, Naruto and One Piece, they have end goals. So you know that the end of the story is that. And so, you know, it ends in Shippuden with Naruto becoming Hokage. And One Piece eventually will end when Luffy becomes Pirate King. Or not, we don't know yet. And that's where a lot of people find gripes with Dragon Ball. I find that it's just not plot driven, and in a sense they are right, because a lot of the times it's just you get half a plot and then, oh, you have to fight this guy and the plot's over, and then they just kind of like take a couple things from the last arc and then they'll just use it to introduce the next arc, and you get the same thing where it's half a plot, you need to beat this guy, that's it. And there's no real like ultimate motive in there. Like Naruto, he says from episode 1, you know, he wants to be Hokage, he wants to be noticed. And you go throughout this journey where he meets people, he fights people, he meets, you know, outsiders, he meets gods and every kind of thing. And you watch him grow, you watch him get noticed, you watch him, you know, get this sense that he is loved and noticed and respected by people, and in the end he does become Hokage, and you kind of see him reach his goal, and it's kind of this, you know, upward curve of a plot. Whereas Dragon Ball, it's a very much up and down motion of like a graph you would see, where, you know, there's rising plot, there's circumstances coming out, you know, Raditz shows up, hey Goku, you're an alien, by the way I'm your brother, I'm taking you home. Then they get the call, you know, Vegeta and Nappa's coming, they gotta prepare. And then they fight Vegeta and Nappa, and then, you know, it kind of declines after that. And then it kind of goes into the next thing where, what do you call it? They get some little hints of information, they find a new motive. And it goes like that, where if you have a general knowledge of some characters, you can take any arc and they can be isolated, kind of like, you know, its own movie or its own segment. They're not really in a grand scheme. You can take the Frieza saga and just watch it by itself. You can take the Cell saga, the Buu saga. It's one you can tell a lot in Super, because it's very fast paced and you don't get a lot of, you know, conflict and resolve issues like that. There's just, hey, here's a god, by the way, Goku, you can become a god, here's god, by the way, Frieza's back, fight Frieza, new god form, by the way, we're having a tournament, by the way, we're going to the future, by the way, there's another tournament. It just goes all over the place, and that's where a lot of people try to shit on Dragon Ball for that, but I guess people forget where things come from, and you gotta understand not every show is the same like that. You know, things can be episodic, things can be anthology like things, shows can be different, but I just don't get why you would hate on something just to make your show feel better. And I kind of just wanted to voice my thought process on why people would do this, and it still kind of doesn't make sense to me. You know, for America, especially here in the West, Dragon Ball brought us next to everything. You know, the biggest thing next to Dragon Ball outside of the world that's anime is Hello Kitty or Pokemon. And, you know, Pokemon very much, for a lot of older audiences, is very niche in older audiences. Once you get to like certain times, some people, you know, they go off, they stay away from the anime, they stay on the games, or they get off the games and they stay on the anime. It's very much a kind of hit or miss thing with Pokemon. It's strange because Dragon Ball has this impact that like a lot of people, no matter who they are, and it really has to do with how long it's been around, that people of all ages have come to enjoy it, and it's just this kind of phenomenon thing, just like how Naruto was for a lot of kids, or One Piece is a completely different beast if we're gonna be honest, or how Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer kind of, you know, revitalized how popular anime can be outside of Japan. And I just don't get why we would hate on something that would pioneer like that and, you know, officially earn its status as a GOAT like that. If you're gonna, you know, you can like and dislike things. You can dislike Dragon Ball, you can dislike One Piece, you can dislike Jujutsu Kaisen and everything, but you can also acknowledge its success or its, you know, achievements or its feats. You know, you don't have to like a GOAT of something, but you can acknowledge that it's a GOAT, you know? And that's really all I'm at right now. Like, I just think about it sometimes, I see it sometimes, and it's kind of, it irks me a little bit, and that's kind of why I made the video, but it also, I'm kind of trying to make sense of it myself. So that's really where I'm at with it. That's really the video I had today. And let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think is people's problem with comparing anime, comparing manga, and just shitting on something else just to make their series feel better? Let me know what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Yeah!